So, good afternoon, dear colleagues. I would like to begin with a brief overview because we are in the territory of the Far East University campus. So we were the architect company of the project, and at that point of time it was called a PEC site. We also were reconstructing the city of Grozny. We were working on the Winter Olympics in Sochi, and it's good that we are having our forum in the east of the country, and it's very positive that this topic has been discussed. So I would like to call it a new city in Primoria region. All of us understand our history, and I would like you to have your own understanding by the end of my presentation. Before a PEC summit, very few people believed in that. I would like to quote Mr. Petr Stolypin. So that was a speech in the State Duma in 1904. So our eagle is the legacy of Byzantium. So if you would take his head looking eastwards off, you will make it suffer. So a brief overview of the Far East. So before the revolution, the Tsar's time, what were measures to support? So free land, 1 hectare, also exemption of the per capita duty, also infrastructure, construction of Trans-Siberian railroad, also creating the free port and the 50 kilometers of duty-free trade. Soviet time, I would like to quote it, some bonuses to the salaries, subsidies to those who decided to resettle, free apartments, now modern Russia. So what happened since the PEC forum in 2012? So you see the free port Vladivostok, advanced development areas, gambling area, Agglomeration, 16 pilots project with the Ministry of the Economic Development, and out of 16 agglomerations there is one in the Far East. So to summarize, it was getting a stronghold in the Far East in the Tsar's time, industrial modification in Soviet time, and time of technological upgrade in the 21st century. So since the 1980s, since 1990s, there was a competition between regions. Now we have a competition on the level of cities. Tokyo competes with New York and London, and in 67 cities of the world, 60% of world's GDP is produced, and we see the active growth of urban populations. So since till 2060, 60% of the world, 75% of the world will live in the cities. So now where we are located in Asia. This is a patchwork. We have all type of political regimes, from monarchy to liberal democracy. We see all type of ideology from liberalism to communism, a lot of geopolitical conflicts between North and South Korea, a big diversity of economics and resources, all religions and their modifications. So various economies. So if we found where the middle of Russia is, so Krasnoyarsk. Krasnoyarsk is the last city with a population of 1 million, and Krasnoyarsk only became the millionaire last year. And below we have some cities which underscore this lack of cities. So in 18th century, it was the western vector. St. Petersburg became the capital. So now, in the 21st century, Vladivostok is the new capital of Russia on the Pacific. So the world follows a trend based on agglomerations. So the topic of agglomeration was voiced by the Minister of Economic Development. So as in the context of the Vladivostok agglomeration, the only one in the Far East district, this is creating, the aim is to create a mega city able to compete with Asia-Pacific cities. So this is a project which sounds like a foresight, and we were trying to find a peer and a partner. So this was the company RSP Singapore, and it's so the competitive edge of Russia are territory and other resources. It's representative of Europe in Asia-Pacific region and Asia-Pacific region in Europe. So European civilization ends not in Berlin but in Vladivostok, and also neutral position of Russia. So Le Corbusier said that all major focal points of thought are in the mathematical summit of concentration of human material. And as for the density, we have 1,000 people per square kilometer in Vladivostok, 3.7 thousand in Shanghai, and more than 17,000 dwellers per square kilometer in Seoul. So our new strategy is the new city and its political sense. So this is how Russia will organize its area. So it's not a stronghold, not a fortress, but an international communication city. So a multicultural city, like St. Petersburg used to be the most foreign city in the 18th century. So we have all prerequisites for creating the most foreign city of Russia. Multicultural communication, generation ideas, and an attractive, comfortable multicultural environment can ensure the best opportunities for self-actualizations of people. So this is a city with a different environment for life, and there are a lot of prerequisites, from free port to, you see the dynamics of newly created employment places, up to the new urbanism my colleagues mentioned. This is a totally different standard in quality of life that can be provided in the format of agglomerations. So this sixth technological wave, a city of trust, the city of intercultural communication, the city of self-actualizations. Well, are you talking about an perfect city, or are you talking about any particular city. So this is the city we will create in the territory of Vladivostok agglomeration. We will consider global trends. We will double Vladivostok agglomeration in 10 years. What prerequisites we have? This is the federal law 172 on strategic planning in the Russian Federation. We can call it a master plan and investment program. So if we don't have a high quality level of strategy, well, some people they do not read this law carefully, because more people leave the region than come to the region. The Ministry of Economic Development, they tried to reproduce the law. So out of 16 agglomerations, 8 were in manual mode. So we would like to stick to the examples of Singapore, which doubled population from 1980 to 2000. So this is work. We have an investor, we have land, we have an agreement with the administration of Primoria territory, and this is in a couple of words. Our internal position is that it's impossible to be in discrete development. Freeport sounds good, and priority development area sounds good, but it's better to be comprehensive in the approach, and Russian legislation support for the situation. Mikhail, could you please let us know? Some previous speakers talked about preserving historical legacy. Why an existing city, an existing municipality like Vladivostok couldn't be center of this municipality? Well, why are you talking about some new city? Well, in my understanding, every city is a huge development program. So with category 1, some lands you cannot touch, then there is a plan for developing existing territories. You renovate, you redevelop, and the third opportunity is to develop new territories. And we analyzed Vladivostok and Vladivostok agglomeration, and the most feasible would be to use the format of agglomeration, where you have existing Vladivostok, where you have free territories, where you have like priority development areas like the island Russky. Wouldn't we contradict the theory on higher density? Because expanding the territory, we decrease the density, which makes a city different from a town and from smaller settlements. I don't see any contradiction here. When developing the city, developing the island of Russky, we don't do anything, any damage to Vladivostok. So regarding the APEC summit, there were 6 sites, and we chose the Russky Island, and there was another bridge built. There was a new airport constructed. There was a gas supply improved. So the life after this summit, is something different. So this tiger is an acronym for the Pacific Institute for Urban Development and Regional Development. So what we are talking about is a preface before a very serious dialogue, and it's initiated from the bottom and supported from the top. And I hope that we find agreement with all stakeholders, communities, and populations. Andrei, would you mind